What's up, everybody? I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. Two. Oh, now I'm live. I don't know, man. This computer confuses me every time I go on. I think I'm live, and then it says, "Okay, now you're live." So anyway, I was just saying, have a great Tuesday. It's pretty cool. 222 of 22, and the fact that it landed on Tuesday, like Tuesday. What are the odds of that? It's pretty wild. But I was contemplating going live. Honestly, I was just sitting here and I was thinking about an analogy that I thought about the night before last in the shower. Ironically, I don't know if you guys can relate, but when you're in the shower, you just kind of go into this. I think it's called a beta state of mind, where you just like ideas and things like that just come to you really uh, more often than when you're busy and you have all of these distractions. Like in your shower, when I'm in the shower, always have the best ideas. I literally, because sometimes I'll listen to personal development in the shower on, I'll have my speaker, I have a Beats pill, I'll put it in there and I'll play. But if it's too loud, like if my wife's in the bedroom watching TV, I'll just put my phone. I pay for YouTube Premium because it's like an unlimited personal development library. And then there's no ads. You can click your iPhone off, like, and it will still play. Um, and so I'll put it up on the top of my shower and just listen, and I'll listen to like personal development, things like that. So a lot of times my phone is up on top of the shower, and the speaker plays throughout. I have glass walls and stuff in there, so it kind of echoes and has cool acoustics. Um, but anyway, forgot my point. Oh, so sometimes when I'm thinking of ideas, I'll grab my phone, even though my hands are wet, and I'll try to like leave a voice recording, or I'll type it in my notes so I don't forget the idea, because I'll think of a great idea, and then when I get out of the shower or later on, I'm like, what was it that I was thinking about in the shower? So, profound, and then I can't remember it. So I was thinking about something that I thought about in the shower the other day, and I posted it in the caption. I said, spread your message or stand on the mountaintop. So, oh, I know what it was. That it was Bob Proctor. I was listening to. No, it wasn't. It was Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn was talking about. Uh, it was talking about something in the Bible, and the guy was standing on the top of the mountain, sharing a message. And I was thinking about social media, and like, and how this is a platform to where you're like, it's almost like you're standing on a mountain or like on a hilltop, sharing with the people who are watching. So like if this were like in the old days, you know, people would stand up on some type of pedestal and people would come around and listen to what they have to say. So I was kind of thinking of that analogy as social media, and like, you know, different people, may go live like this on social media, and people have different levels of influence. And to me, I was thinking, what determines that level of influence that people have, and how many people are watching, how many people come back and hear what they have to say. So it's like I was thinking about, these people getting up on like this hilltop, and they're sharing this message, whatever this message may be, and whatever message is in your heart, I think that you should share it. I think you should find a platform. Social media is a great platform to really reach people and share your message, share what's on your heart, because each of you are special and have a message inside of you. You have a story, you have something that, you know, deserves to be shared, because it can add value to people's lives. Now, I think those of us who are spreading a positive message, and it can impact someone's life in a positive way, it should be done. And some people are going to gather around the mountain to hear you talk, and some people aren't. And they may come listen for a little while, and then they may walk off. Sometimes your viewers, it'll show 10 viewers, 12 viewers. I think I have like four on here right now. Sometimes it's 40, depending on the time of day, what people are doing. Some people may be at work and they may not be around the mountaintops where people get on top of the mountain and share their message. But some people won't even go climb up on top of the mountain and start talking. Sometimes that has to be you. Sometimes you need to climb up on top of the little hill and just start sharing. Somebody might walk up and listen. You may have four or five people that walk up to the mountain and hear what you have to say, right? And then depending on the message you share, the value that you add, the positive inspiration um, that you may share may determine the likelihood of them coming back. And when they say, "Oh, look, Justin's getting up on top of the hill to talk. Hey, let's go walk over and hear what he has to say." Or they may say, "No, I've listened to him speak before. It's not for me. Just gonna stay over here and you know do this, do something else." Right? But the more times we get up on top of that hill and just share our message, the more times people get to know who you are, the message that you're trying to share. They may stay and listen. They may come back and watch the replay, or whatever. And I don't know, you couldn't really do that in the old days. There's no really way to hear the replay. You may just hear from someone on what that person said on top of the mountain that day. But if you think about it, it's kind of a cool it's kind of a cool analogy because that's really what we're doing. These different social media platforms are just a way to stand on top of the mountain and share your message. And there's some people that get on here that have a lot of influence that hundreds of people are watching them. So I can just imagine, I'm kind of visualizing this in the old day, like somebody getting up on top of the mountain and then all these people kind of crowding around the mountain to hear what they have to say. It's kind of like everybody, when you have a lot of people watching on on when you go live, like having hundreds of people, or sometimes people have thousands of people that are watching them just to hear what they have to say. And I just think that's really cool. It's a really cool concept. And, sometimes it may just be getting on here and saying, "Hey, you know what? Each of you guys are very special, unique people. You're God's highest form of creation. You're capable of anything and everything. And you just got to go out there and live your life. Don't be regretful one day that you didn't take more chances, that you didn't go for it, and just a little bit of inspiration like that. No, I'm just speaking generically right now, but I'm just saying, like, just something like that may impact someone's life. Somebody may just be having a shitty day, and they're just scrolling through social media that like most people do, throughout the day, and they just see you on there, and they say, "You know what? Usually when he's talking, he's got something positive to say. So I'm just going to click on there and listen." And then they hear your voice saying, "Hey, you know what? Quit playing small. Go out there and play big. Go make a difference in someone's life. Go work towards what you want out of this life and quit conforming to the masses. Quit settling for less. Quit lowering your standards just to fit in. Go for more. Go for more. Quit clocking in this 9 to 5 warm in a chair for the next 30 years, knowing that's not what you want to, that's not how you want to spend your entire life working 5 days to live free for 2 days. Being miserable for 5 days to have 2 days where you can do what you want, when you can take those 2 days and work harder, or when you come home from work harder and on a side income to supplement your income to where eventually you may not have to be miserable for those 5 days. And I know I'm not speaking to everybody right now, because there's some people who would really thoroughly enjoy what they do, on a daily basis. And I love that, and I'm grateful for those people have that, and they can go to work excited and be passionate about what they do. And when your passion aligns with your purpose, when those two things intersect, when you're passionate about your purpose and what you just know you're set out to do in life, that's when you're in the right spot. When, like, you're waking up, you wake up before the alarm clock goes off because you're just fired up to go make a difference and to go, you know, work towards significance, not just success. You want to make a difference, or maybe you don't want to make a difference. Maybe you're just content with whatever it is that you're doing, and that's just, you just enjoy the security, the peace of mind, and just saying, "Hey, you know what? I clock in, I enjoy my job, I come home, kick on the TV, drink a beer, hang out with my family." Whatever it is that you do, if you're happy, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. But some people, like me, were hungry for more. Something intuitively inside of my heart knew that I was just meant for something more, that I wasn't just designed to just go to work, pay bills, and die, that I was meant for something greater. And then, so when I'm not living congruent to that, I felt out of whack. Like, I felt almost depressed, like, and anxious. Like, man, I just know I'm meant for something greater than this. I'm not supposed to just go here and take orders and, like, live under someone else's control. I wanted a fully autonomous lifestyle. I wanted to make decisions on how I wanted to spend my day. Every second hour of each day is being lived exactly how I want to live it, with the people I want to live it with, and doing what I want to do. That mattered to me. Some people it may not matter to, it mattered to me. So when I wasn't living congruent to that, I was stressed out. I wasn't happy. But for the last 8 years, I haven't had a job. I can wake up when I'm tired of sleeping, do what I want to do, and I'm not trying to be boastful right now. And I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just impressing upon you guys that it is possible to live the life you want, but you first have to figure out what it is you want. And when I realized that, I got passionate about that. And then when I helped other people accomplish those same things, people that were like me, that wanted that they didn't need easy, they just needed possible. And they wanted to go out and make that life for themselves. When I realized I had the ability to potentially lead people to that freedom, gosh, that was my purpose. And I was passionate about it. And when those two things came together, there was no question, not an inclination of doubt in my mind that that's what I was meant to do. I've always had a passion to serve. That's why I was in the military. That's why I was a state police officer. That's why I was even a city police officer for 3 years before I was a state trooper for another 7.5, almost 8 years. I loved to serve. I loved to make a difference because that was intrinsic for me. It wasn't about the money that I joined. I was a law enforcement officer. It wasn't about money. I didn't get more money when I tried out for the SWAT team. I just wanted to make a better difference. I didn't get more money because I taught defensive tactics. I said, hey, you know what? I like to fight. I like to train in combative sports. You know, um, they said, hey, do you want to teach defensive tactics? I did that because you know what? Hey, if one of my buddies are on the side of the road and they're getting in a fight, someone's trying to take their gun, someone's trying to take their life, maybe something that I teach them, a ground technique or something that could potentially save their life, that's me adding value and giving back. And that in my heart, intrinsically, that I knew that I was making a difference. And I liked that. In the military, I signed up. I said, you know what? I'm going to go fight for my country. I served in Iraq. I served in Baghdad for a year. We lost 35 guys in my unit, and I still today have struggles because of that service. But hey, guess what? I served and I feel like I made a difference. And I'm thankful for those who do serve, all the men and women who have served in any capacity. I thank them. And I think it's amazing because you're sacrificing, you're giving of yourself to make a difference in someone else's life. So that's always been the intrinsic motivator for me, is to make a positive impact in someone else's life. Let me give some shout outs real quick. Amber, what's up? Amber Wheeler in the house. Lee Johns, hey girl. Trina, hey. Pastor Dave, Frank, Sam. Good to see all you guys. I can't see the comments when I'm up, my screens move. So I wanted to go give some shout outs. But look, ultimately, guys, I've always had a passion to serve. Um, and then I found a business that got me to where, see, freedom is my philosophy. Freedom. It's not about money, it's about freedom. Yes, it takes money to be able to live free because you got to still pay the bills, right? You still got to be able to provide for your family. But it wasn't about the money. Yes, I do like nice things. I do. I have, I guess, expensive taste, if you want to say that. I like nice things, but that's not why I work hard. I mean, I like to have nice things, but more importantly, I just like freedom. I just like to live free. So I fought for freedom. Freedom is important to me. I feel like I don't feel comfortable when I'm under someone else's control. And I've lived on that side of the life. I mean, I was in the military. I was in the state police. It's direct orders that you will follow or you won't be here. In the military, you didn't have a choice, but law enforcement, you're going to follow orders. You're going to do what you're told to do. So I've been on that side of the coin, and then I've been on the complete opposite side of the coin, where it's like, I'll wake up when I'm done sleeping. I'll go to sleep when I'm tired of being awake. Can I just do whatever I want every single day. Like every single day. I'm 100% my own boss and I love that life. Like that right there is worth any amount of work that I have to do. I would work 168 hours a week for myself so I don't ever have to work for someone else ever again. Like my life is dependent on, or like I have to trade my life for money, like trade my time, my hours for dollars. Like here, I'm going to sell you an hour of my life for 30 bucks. Like, I'm going to do what you tell me to do for this duration of time for a paycheck where I'm collecting a check rather than creating a check. I'd rather create a check, add value, figure out ways that I can provide service to the world and be compensated for that rather than be a pawn and someone tell me what to do and then they give me money to do it, almost like a slave. And that's kind of how I felt in that capacity of working as an employee. I felt like I was just a paid slave. Like, you do this because I'm gonna tell you to do it, and if you don't do it, you're fired. You'll go eat when I tell you to go eat. You'll take vacation when I allow you to take vacation. I just couldn't do that. That to me was incongruent to how I wanted to live the one life that I have on this earth as Justin Weeks. The one life that I have, I couldn't do it like that and be happy. Nothing against jobs. I'm not knocking jobs. It just wasn't for me personally. I just rather be free. So that's what I was personally passionate about. So I like to serve, I like to live free, and I like to, I like to do this. I like to climb up on my mountaintop and share and add value. And there may only be 4 or 5 people watching. But guess what? Those 4 or 5 people, what's up, Erica? Purpose and passion. That's right, Pastor Dave. That was important to me. Is, I like to get up and make a difference in someone's life, even if it's just me talking for a few minutes, saying, hey, you could do this. If I could do it, you can do it. If you're passionate, there's no substitute for passion and authenticity. And then I realized in this line of work that we can become more. We can become more as people. And then if and everything in our life is determined by who we are, because that's what we attract. So when I realized, hey, I could become more, and I started working on personal development and leadership, and then I started, you know, I started adding value to other people, and the more valuable I became, and the more I contributed and served others, the more, you know, the better my life got. Then all I wanted to do was become more and give more, because ultimately that was it. It was growth and contribution. Those are the two things I focus on most is how can I grow and how can I contribute. And me standing up on this hill talking to these people is a form of contribution to me. It's like, hey, maybe something I say to someone may inspire them to go take action, or it may inspire them to think a little bit bigger than they used to think. And the reason I'm coming live on Tuesday is because my Freedom Friday, I had to go to the hospital for a follow up. I had some things I had to do. I had to go to the Veterans Hospital and deal with some stuff. And I couldn't go live on Friday. So it's been bugging me for 4 days that I didn't go live because I was committed to going live on Freedom Friday. See, that's why I call it Freedom Friday. That's why I put hashtag live free on everything I post, because freedom is my ultimate philosophy. It's just freedom. I've fought for it. I have friends who have died for it. Friends of mine who died, who are no longer on this earth because they were fighting for freedom. For freedom. So that's important to me. Freedom is important to me. And I'm passionate about it. So my purpose in life, my magnificent obsession, my definite purpose is 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 helping other people who want that same freedom realize that they're capable of achieving it, and helping them go get it. Saying, hey, here's what I've done over the last 8 years. Here's what I did for 22 months prior to becoming free. Once I was introduced to the profession that I'm in, it took me almost 2 years of working really, really hard to be able to fire the boss, to walk away from my job. And I haven't had a job since, because I didn't get complacent. I didn't settle. I said, you know what? I got to fight for this freedom every single day. So I've gone out and I've just helped as many people achieve it. And so I'm passionate about it, and I know it's my purpose. I know it's my purpose in life. And it drives me. My passion wakes me up every day. I wake up earlier now without an alarm clock than I used to do with an alarm clock. I used to be pissed off when my alarm clock went off, and I was like, gosh dang it, I got to get up. You know, didn't want to get up because I had to get up. But now I don't have to get up. So guess what? I want to get up. It's weird how that works. It's weird how that works. So I like to get up on top of these hilltops and say, hey guys, guess what? If I can do it, you can do it. It's not theoretical. I've done XYZ. And it's very cool when you learn the laws of cause and effect, when you learn the law of compensation, when you learn the law of sowing and reaping, how, guess what? When you add value, it just comes back to you. When you become more valuable, you're always going to be paid in direct proportion to the amount of value that you add to the marketplace, is how Jim Rohn states it. But it's your growth and contribution. It's how valuable you can become, and then how you can add that value to other people. That's ultimately going to determine your success, if you want to call it that, right? Your compensation. It's always going to be in direct proportion. Thank you, Pastor Dave. I appreciate that. Hey, Jackie. What's up, Jackie? You know, um, so so that's why I'm just passionate about this. Yes, I have the vehicle now. I'm part of a business where I'm confident that you take someone who has who has the passion, that, and we have systems in place that we could say, hey, you do this. If you do this XYZ long enough, it's going to produce the results, because it's safety in numbers, it's law of averages. Anything you do enough times, a ratio will appear. So you could back into any goal when there's systems in place. And that's what I love. So I could take anybody and says, hey, I want to live free. So it may be a 2 to 4 year deal. There's not any overnight get rich quick things, but I'd rather get rich. I mean, I'd rather get rich eventually than get rich never. I could have worked my job for the next 30 years and been the Michael Jordan of that profession. It would have never paid me the lifestyle of my dreams, because it wasn't possible. You put me in a place where it is possible. My passion, my desire to go out and make things happen goes through the roof, because guess what? Now it's possible. When I put my dream board on my wall, and I'm looking at these things that I want to, you know, accomplish in life, but guess what? Now they're actually possible, because the vehicle can actually take me there. So that's done a whole different thing for me. Like, it was one thing to wake up, and that probably had a lot to do with why I was just didn't want to wake up in the morning, because I knew what I was going to get paid for the next 20 years. And guess what? It didn't really excite me too much, to be honest. I wasn't like hopping out of bed like, yeah, let's go make $50,000 a year. Like, this is awesome. No, I mean, and it's not just about money, but I mean, I was just working 12-hour shifts, putting my life on the line. Yes, I was serving, I was doing good work, and I'm grateful for those who do that, but it didn't excite me. Like, I'm a car guy. I like nice vehicles. And I'm not saying I couldn't have saved up and got a nice vehicle, but I just wanted to live. I just wanted to like I wanted I wanted to just go for everything. Because guess what? Me having these things that I want doesn't take away from somebody else. Guys, they print money like it's just like it is an endless, unlimited resource. It's like the ocean. You go out to the ocean, you take a cup full of water. Guess what? There's just so much more out there for it's endless. It's just endless. It's an endless resource for everybody out there. So you going and having success and like accomplishing the things you want in life, don't feel like that's taking from someone else. It's not. Everybody can win. There are literally, guys, there are literally millions of millionaires just in the US, millions of millionaires. And so many people have these self-limiting beliefs like, oh, well, that's just for those people, or my parents only accomplished this much, or I was taught, you go to school, get good grades, go to work there till you're 65 years old, come home, take one trip to Europe with your spouse, watch TV for 10 years, and then die. That's just what life's supposed to be, right? No, it's not what life's supposed to be. There's so much more that you can accomplish. There's so much more that you can do out there. You just got to go do it. You just got to go do it. So sometimes it takes you having to figure out what you want and quit worrying about what everybody else wants. Quit worrying about everybody else's approval about what it is that you want to go do. Find some people who are winning. Find some people who are winning. Find some people who are living the lifestyle that you want to live, and go ask them. Say, hey, would you mind showing me what you're doing so I can do it too? And I promise you, they will want to help you. Because guess what? Successful people love to see other people win. Haters, show me a successful hater. I've never met one in my life. Show me someone who's criticizing someone else who's doing better than them. Won't happen. Nobody who's criticizing you is doing better than you. Don't be afraid to attract a little bit of haters. Don't be afraid, people that may point their finger and laugh. Because guess what? If you want to win, you got to observe the masses and do the opposite. If you want to be average and mediocre, then conform to the masses. If the masses are doing it, it's an average action. I don't want everybody to do what I want to do. I want the people who want to do, who want more out of life, who are just fired up and hungry and want to help people and want to live and want to grow and want to expand their territory and make a difference and get up on these mountaintops and share the message with the world saying, hey, you can live a healthier life. Hey, you can live a more prosperous life. You can live an abundant life. Let's go. And everybody comes around and wants to hear what you have to say, and wants to come around the mountain and hear what they have to say. And then they leave there with more energy. They leave there with more inspiration. They walk away from the mountain with more ambition than they've ever had before. And they're ready to go ready to go charge hell with a water pistol and say, you know what? I'm going to go find my tribe. I'm going to go create my team. I'm going to go build an organization of people who are winning and having fun in life. Ask anybody. Ask anybody on my team, hey, you guys have fun? We have a blast. You know why we're having so much fun? Because people are winning. And I've been where people aren't winning, and it's kind of miserable. It's kind of depressing. And especially when you're having success and no one else is, and you get up there and you're trying to inspire a group of broke people who are not winning, and it sucks. It sucks. I'll be honest, that sucks. And it ultimately led to me having to go in a different direction professionally, and I did. Been here about 17 months. We have more rank advancements in our first year in this new business with our team than I had in 8 years combined in that previous company. So that's what makes it so fun because, see, a rising tide lifts all boats, lifts all ships, right? So when everyone's winning, it creates this environment conducive to growth. And I want an environment conducive to growth for the average person, not just your superstars, not just your people that have a ton of credibility and a ton of influence that could come in and win, but your person who's just maybe just getting started, who just wants to be around a community of people who are uplifting and encouraging and positive and can show them a proven success method that says, hey, you know what? If you do this, you're going to have success. And to see those people win, gosh, that's what inspires me. That's what fires me up to keep, because I love to see people's dreamer open up. I love to see people who had these, this fixed mindset, this scarcity mindset their entire life. And then they get involved, they get around you and their dreamer opens up. They're like, hey, you know what? This might be possible for me. And then once that clicks, and then they experience some success, they experience winning, they see their name with a banner. This person went bronze or silver, or they start getting recognition. Some of these people have never had recognition for anything positive in their entire life. That was something that drove me and early on, because I was that kid who would do good in the baseball game and they'd get in the car and their dad would be like, hey, you could have did this better. All I wanted was, hey man, I'm proud of you. Oh, sorry. I don't know where that came from. But hold on one second. So some people just need that in their life. Some people just want to be recognized for something good in their life and accomplish something that and have people around them saying, "Hey, high five, good job." You know? And that was important to me too. And when I can see other people have that for the first time in their life and then and get recognized for something that good that they accomplished, and then they see that their dreams are possible, that's what it matters, man. That's something that money can't even buy. And that's when it made a difference, a major difference in my life. And if I can do that in other people's lives, and I can add that kind of value to their life, it does more for them than just eh, you know eliminate debt or increase their bank account, or um, there's so much that could come out of getting around good people and being around positive people. I mean, I was in such a dark place. PTSD, depression, anxiety. I couldn't sleep at night some nights, and I started getting around positive people and leaders and people that inspired you to grow personally and then accomplish things, and felt like I could actually there was something I could be great at. I was always okay at everything, but I was never ever great at anything. And, I got into this business and had some success or in this type of business, and had some success. And it was one thing when I was winning. And when I started, I'll be honest, I was like, my goals were very self-serving because I did have big dreams. I did want to accomplish, success, if you will, because I grew up very poor. I was come from very humble beginnings. I grew up in a trailer park, hand-me-down clothes, and we were eating cereal out of the bags. We wouldn't even have boxed cereal. I remember eating Kraft. My lunch was bread, Miracle Whip or mayo, a slice of cheese, Kraft single cheese, and another piece of bread, and that was like my lunch. That was my lunch, and like I guess that was before ramen noodles and stuff like that. My wife just got home. Hi, babe. Um, but you know, one time I got spanked. I literally got a whipping because my parents came home. I was outside the trailer. I was in the backyard of my trailer, and those handy snacks. Handy snacks. They were like it comes with like five crackers, a little thing of cheese, and a little red stick, and you could spread the cheese on the cracker. I mean, how much is a box of handy snacks? I don't know. Well, we had some in our pantry, and the kids outside next door, his name was Josh, my little neighbor, they were eating some handy snacks. So I was like, well, we have some of those. So I went and got one for me and my sister, and me and my sister were eating handy snacks out in the backyard with them. Well, parents came home. They thought I handed out handy snacks to like all six or seven kids. I got jerked in the house and whipped for that. Whipped, like spanked. And then And then my mom felt bad when she realized that I didn't hand out the handy snacks, that I actually just got one for me and my sister. And then she felt bad and she wanted me to like switch her back because I got switched with a switch when I was a kid, like a skinny stick, and it hurt really bad. She's like, "Here, you spank me," and she felt bad. She whipped me and she jumped to conclusions. I had a great mom, I had great parents that loved me and stuff, but it was tough times. I mean, who's been spanked for handing out a cracker to a kid? You know what I mean? But that's where we were in life. So that's where I come from. So I did have big dreams, to be like I wanted to succeed in life. I wanted to win, and so maybe it's a lot of things that maybe there's a lot of subconscious reasons for me wanting to be successful in life and to have nice things. 'Cause I didn't have that stuff, growing up, and and then the recognition stuff. Maybe that drives me too because of things that I missed out on. Being told you're proud, just hearing, hey, you're doing a good job in life or whatever, or congratulations for accomplishing something. Maybe that I needed that too. I don't know, but whatever it is, whatever the reasons were for me having that internal drive to be successful weren't near as strong as when I realized that I could help other people achieve that too. I think that's where I was going. A lot of my dreams were self-serving in the beginning. I didn't mean to get emotional on this. I don't even know how this happened. I'll hit live so just randomly today, just because I was thinking about the mountain thing. But here I am. So we're already here. So whatever. I just finished this. Whatever those reasons were that caused me to be passionate about having success in life, wherever they came from when I was a kid or whatever. I don't know. My desire to serve is so strong that when I started accomplishing these things for myself, when I started winning, and I started, hitting these $30,000 months and like earning more money than I ever earned, in my life, and I started having this success. Now, I went through some struggles with that. I had my ego got big. I made poor choices personally, professionally. Marriage fell apart, life fell apart, business fell apart. So I've been here, I've been back down here, even worse than when I started, and then I've got back to the top and learned a lot and grew a lot in that process, right? All of that, happened, but more importantly, when I realized that I could help other people personally and professionally. So yes, I have a business that I help people win and create that freedom and chase their dreams and have that recognition and have that success and that money. I do that. And then guess what? Many of y'all don't know this. I have a private Facebook group that's called Husbands, Dads, and Stepdads that I started. That's just me sharing with men, no agenda, not business related. It's just a personal page that I have. So if you're a guy on here and you want me to add you to that group, if you're a husband, dad, or stepdad, and you want to be in that group, just let me know in the comments and I'll add you to that group. And all it is us, because that's where I can relate to us sharing about personal things, helping us lead our families at a higher level and be better dads, be better stepdads. Because I tell you what, man, all through what I've learned in business and grown professionally as a leader for business wise, just as much growth has happened in my life personally. Mistakes that I've made, things that, I can be a better leader of my household too, because life's not all about business. Life, it's about family. In fact, it's more about family than it is about business. But I'll tell you this too, financial stress, like being stressed out about bills, that can cause hardships in your relationship and in your family too. So it all correlates with one another, pretty strongly. And so whatever it is in your life that you want to improve, it can be improved. You can grow as a person, you can grow as a husband, you can grow as a wife, you can grow as a parent, you can grow spiritually, you can grow intellectually, you can grow physically, you know, and all of it matters. So if I can inspire anything today, if I can say anything today from my little mountaintop today, it'd be work on yourself, get better, and understand that life's a journey and it's short, and the time's right now. The time is right now to grow and get better and go after what it is you want. And the way you get there is by growth and contribution, getting better every single day so that you can add more value to other people. And the more often we do that, the more valuable we become. And then we get up on our mountain and share, and people gather around to hear what we have to say. And then they go out and spread that message of growth and inspiration. They have more energy to go out and chase their dreams. They feel more inspired. Then guess what? You did. You made a positive difference in somebody's life, whether it's one person's life or whether it's 20 people's lives or it's 200 or 2,000. The more people that you can impact, then when you leave, you have something to be remembered by. So many people are so worried about fitting in and conforming and and worried about what other people think and their approval. But guess what? When those people die, nobody remembers them anyway because they spent their whole life worrying about what everybody else thought. But why don't you go out there and be you? Be you, your unique self. Figure out what it is you want. Get clarity on those goals and dreams and go out and accomplish those and become the best version of yourself that you can be and help as many other people around you do the same thing. And when you do pass one day, you can pass on with a sense of accomplishment, knowing that you went after it with all you had and you became the best version of yourself and you made a difference and had fun and lived your best life. Because ultimately, what else are we doing if we're not going for that? Just going through the motions, watching the clock pass every single day. Where's the fun in that? So anyway, I hope I made some type of impact today. I'm glad that I, hit the live button and climbed up on top of this hill and talked for a little while. And if you got value out of this and want to share it, man, I'd love for that. I'd love for you to share it, because if you do, it may reach that one person that needs to hear what I had to say. And if you don't want to, it's no worries. You don't feel obligated to do that. But just your like or just your comment and liking the post gives me inspiration to go out and climb up on this hill again tomorrow. Or, I'll go live every Wednesday night with my team, and then I try to go Fridays, Freedom Friday. But that's what makes me want to do it, because you know what I feel like? I feel like, man, I made a difference in somebody's life. And just someone saying in the comments, "Hey, Justin, I really needed to hear this today," or or I get a private message like, "Hey, man, you know, I just joined your team 2 weeks ago. Your leadership it means the world to me. Thanks for being, approachable and available to hear me or have spend time with me to help me be better." And like every little just ounce of that, it's what fills me up. It fulfills me. It's so rewarding, and that's where I was going with that whole conversation. That's what I meant to say. And I apologize for my ADD. I got sidetracked. But when you help someone else have success, that's when it did it for me, because my desire to serve led into my passion of freedom and then what became a passion of growth, because I realized we could grow as people. We could get better, become better leaders, become better individuals, become better humans, and that we're able to make a bigger impact and a bigger difference in other people's lives when we became better. And ultimately, that's when everything came together for me, my passion and my purpose. And I was like, you know what? Every day I'm going to work on myself to become more. And every day I'm going to do my best to contribute more to others. And all this started coming together. And then I realized, hey, this is what I was meant to be. This is what I was meant to do. It became my magnificent obsession, my definite purpose. I'm obsessed with it. I am. I'm obsessed with all of it. I love it. And I love that I have the freedom to be with my family. And I love that I have the, capability to provide like I want to. And I'm not there yet. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. But the journey is what I'm in love with now. I'm in love with the process. I'm in love with the work. I work in the dark when nobody sees. So many people see the glory. They don't even know the story. You got a taste of it today. Fall in love with the process. Don't say, hey, I'm going to be happy when I get that car. I'm looking at I have all kind of stuff on my dream board. I'm looking at a Rolls Royce Wraith, a McLaren 720S. These things are far off in the future, but I'm not going to say, hey, I'll be happy when I'm driving a blacked out Rolls Royce Wraith. No, I can't do that. That would be a long time before I was happy. Don't say I'm going to be happy when I quit my job. Don't say I'm going to be happy when I have a team of 1,000 people, or when I'm making, $10,000 a month or $50,000 a month or whatever it is you want to make. I've had a goal to be a six-figure a month earner on my 40th birthday. It was supposed to be when I hit it, and I'm already past that. So I missed that goal to be a six-figure a month earner by my 40th birthday. But I can't say I'm going to be happy when I'm a six-figure a month earner, or when I hit Elite Black in my company, or whatever it is. I can't say that. I have to be happy now. I have to show up now as a leader. I have to lead at a higher level right now. And then those things may unfold in the future. But you can't wait to show up in life when those things happen. You can't say when the effect happens, then I'll create the cause. No, you got to create the cause now. You got to show up now. You got to be happy now. You got to be fired up right now, because you're going to attract who you are. You got to start growing right now. If you want things to get better, you have to get better right now. And don't compare your journey to anybody else's. Just say, hey, tomorrow I'm going to be a better version of myself than I was today. Today, I'm going to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And you do that consistently every single day, and it will all happen. It will all work out in due time. And it just takes more climbing up on the mountain for me. I just got to climb up here more often, speak from my heart more often, add value more often, and become more. When I'm not up here, becoming more, you know, every day. So, all right. Much love. God bless. I'm out of here. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. And if you have something to comment below, please do. I'll respond to every single one of them. So, love you guys. I'm out.